Time to move on to the end, our final sprint, our surf session. So we're going to start out on the beach. We're going to add a little variation here. So being really light on those feet, bringing the knees up, and we're going to hop over the board. So we call this running on a rocky beach. So every time we say there's a rock, we hop up and over the board. So using the hands to come up and over, making sure we're light on our feet, up and over, controlling it from the core, nice light jog, getting the knees up, and hopping over. So you can make this as fun as you want. You can add another storyline in. We like to keep it simple. We're running down a rocky beach. We're going to dive onto our board, control the body, and start to paddle. So sprint here. We want strong arms, long strokes. We want to reach as far forward as we can and pull it all the way back. So really opening up those shoulders. Now we're going to dive under a wave. So every time we say wave, we go into a duck dive. We learned this earlier, so we're going to use it now. 2 duck dives. All right, we're still paddling, so we're still going out there. So there's a lot of big waves. Strong arms all the way forward, all the way back. And remember, every time we say wave, we're going to go into a duck dive. We're going to grab the nose of the board, pull the hips back, dive down, elbows back, and pull the hips all the way back. Dive it down again, staying on those toes, and down. So keep paddling, reach, reach, 2 arms together. We call this a double paddle. So you can see the board is moving around underneath Nick there. It's a lot of strength. It's going into that paddle. We're trying to throw off our balance a little bit, control our core. So reaching and pulling, really opening up the shoulders at the end here. And duck dive down, pull it back. So we're doing 3 sets of duck dives here. Duck dive down again, and pull it back. So we're trying to simulate paddling out and diving under waves. Now we made it out. We're just sitting, we're hanging out, we're waiting for waves. So we like to say, here comes a shark. So we're kicking and we're punching. So this is a fun one. You can add this in. It's really just saying, everybody get your legs and arms on the board, control from the core. We're going to kick and we're going to punch. So pretend there's a shark there, a lot of high energy, kick and punch. Then we're going to stand all the way up to get away from it. And if you want, you can add in this variation we call kicking the shark from the standing position. So kick it from the standing. So it's like a single leg squat, a little modified, shortened version of the squat, but controlling. So this is something we did earlier in the class as well. So we like to put a lot of things together. So back down, we're going to kick and punch it again. So control from the core. And we're going to do the same thing, standing back up. So bringing the feet into the butt, grabbing the rails of the board, and we're going to kick the shark on the other side. So it's a shortened version of that single leg squat we were doing earlier. So we learned the duck dive earlier, we learned these single leg squats, now we're throwing it all together into a little story. We like to say there's a shark in the water, we're going to kick it and come back down. All right, so we beat that shark. So now let's paddle. We're going to do some pop-ups. We're going to sprint. So you see the shortened stroke here and pop it up, left foot forward. Stay nice and low, carve, rock the board, control it, go right into some squats. So drop those hips, all 10 toes forward, hips squared forward. Now we're going to touch the board and reach up into the air. So this is a little more advanced. It's going to get the heart rate up. We're going to come back down. We're going to sprint paddle again, that shortened fast stroke. We're going to pop up the other direction now, so the right foot forward. Land it again. We're going right into some squats, so dropping the hips all the way down, touching the board, reaching up, keeping the core engaged, good posture, hips come back, chest is up, and keeping it going nice and fast here. And bring it back down to laying on the board and just reach. So we're actually going to repeat this whole sequence one more time. Keep the heart rate up, get it going again. Sprint for the final song here before we cool it down. So go through the whole sequence one more time. Running, diving, duck diving, shark sequence, and pop-ups.